Hey YouTube, today I'm making Black Forest cake because when I went to the store to purchase one, it looked like this, either plasticky or really super expensive. So I decided to make it. 2 cups of organic white flour. I have 1 cup of sweetener, and so you can use whatever flour and whatever sweetener of your choice. And then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. To this, I will be adding a 1/3 cup of coconut oil, 1 cup of milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. This is homemade vanilla. I have a recipe for this in one of my videos on here on this channel. You can actually see I need more. I'm running down to the bottom of it, but I made this back in, labels here, November 3rd, 2022, and I'm just running out now. A tablespoon of vinegar. 1/2 cup of water. So this is your basic cake mix recipe here. Because I am going ahead to make Black Forest cake, this is going to have to turn into a chocolate cake. So I'm going to add 1/2 cup of cocoa powder to this batter, and I'll show you what that looks like. Forgot to add 2 eggs. I will have the recipe, guys, in the comments section, so if anybody's looking for the recipe, I'll link it there. But I'm going to add 2 more eggs to this, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so nice glossy chocolate cake mix. And I'm going to go ahead and add it to my cake pan. Of course, I only have 1 of these cake pans. I need 2 of them in order to make my 2-layer Black Forest cake. But what I'm going to do is take half the batter, bake 1 cake, and when that cake's done, I'll just pop it out, let it cool, and put in the other half of the batter. I'm going to pop this in the oven. It's going to be set at 350 degrees, and it will stay there for about 25 to 30 minutes. I will check on it at the 25. So this was ready at exactly 25 minutes, and I'm just going to pop it out of the pan and put it on a plate. Let's see if I can do it with 1 hand. Actually, just 1 hand. Great. So here's cake 1. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process, and I'll be back in 2 seconds with the miracle of video. Both cakes have been baked and are completely cooled down. So what I'm going to do is, or what I have done is, I've taken the cherry pie filling and just blended it lightly. So because the cherry pie filling looks like that with huge cherry chunks in it. So I used about 1/2 cup, 1/4 cup, and I have another 1/4 cup here I'm going to use for the topping on top. And so I'm just going to spread this around the edges, and then once it's evenly all around the edges, I'll just whip up some whipped cream. I am going to make my own whipped cream, so this is what I do when I'm making whipped cream. It's easiest when you have your whipping cream cold, of course, but also I had this in the freezer so that the blades are nice and cold, and that will help to make whipped cream faster. So I'm going to go ahead and make this in my Vitamix. You can make this with a hand mixer, or you can actually do this by hand, but it's more time consuming. So I'll be back after I've made the whipped cream. To make whipped cream in a Vitamix is actually pretty simple. You just put it on low blend, so on the lowest speed for about 30 seconds. And then after 30 seconds or so, you slowly increase the speed. And within like another 35 or 40 seconds of when you've increased the speed, it's going to become whipped cream. So it happens pretty quickly. In about a minute, you'll have whipped cream in the Vitamix. A minute and 24 seconds it took. So now that's whipped cream there. I'm just going to spread it over top of the cherry pie filling. You can see here, I just put it to almost at the edges, because once you put the other cake on top, you know, it's going to... So my camera cut out, so I apologize for that. Where I was adding the whipped cream on top. I spread it out with a spoon, like a tablespoon, and just the flat end of it, I just smoothed it out. Then I did the same thing, repeated those steps with the second cake. I put the second cake on top of what was now the filling, and then put this cherry filling sauce again, spread that with the spoon, and then added the second half or the last of the whipped cream on top. And what you see here is what that looks like with the spoon. So the markings there are from, the flat end of the spoon. And then the next step, you're going to take your time with this. It's a bit of a labor of love, this part. You're just going to take chocolate shavings and kind of gently sprinkle them around the edges and then press them into the sides of the cake all around. So that's what I'm in the process of doing right now. I have this much here. This is what's left of a whole dark chocolate bar I bought at Costco. So I'm going to show you how I do this. This is how the shavings end up looking when you use a carrot grater or a carrot peeler. Sorry. You can probably use a grater to do this, and I'm sure they've invented something, but this is pretty simple, and most people have carrot peelers in their kitchen already. So it's kind of nice because you don't have to buy something else just to make this cake or to do shavings. Okay, so you just take the carrot peeler and gently pass it down the side. Because your hand is warm, you're going to end up melting some of this chocolate on your fingers, so it's a little bit messy. But another way is what I was doing to kind of help stop that is just I put some paper towel just like in between and then just pass it through. So anyways, you could get this done pretty quickly if you just go back and forth at it real quick. And that's how you get your chocolate shavings. So I'm just going to continue with these chocolate shavings, working around the edges of the cake, and I'll come back to show you what to do next. Pretty much it's just the maraschino cherries that I bought earlier. I just let them dry out on a paper towel so that the liquid doesn't mess up the whipped cream, and I'll place those on after. So I'll show you what that all looks like in a minute. And just in case you're wondering, I just take a full spoonful of these shavings, and see that empty spot there? I'm just going to gently press the spoon up against it, and then it should stick. And then I'm just doing that, going all the way around. And then I'll just fill in the empty spots, like the white spots, come back again and do the same thing again. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, everybody, this is it. I have put all the whole amount of chocolate bar, grated it up, and except for that little bit there is on this cake all around the edges, and then I just sprinkled a tiny bit on top after I added the dried maraschino cherries. I didn't dry them like dehydrate, I just let them drip dry on paper towel, and so that's what it looks like. I am going to transfer it onto like a makeshift base just so it's a little bit elevated. I'm going to put it on top of this. This is just a piece of cardboard that I put parchment paper over top. And I'm going to place it in the center here, and I'm going to try to transfer it. So I wanted to take a picture just in case. Okay, so there's the final product. Thank you for watching, and I hope you give it a try. And at least if you don't give Black Forest cake a try and you still want to make cake, you can always make a plain vanilla cake, chocolate cake, or any variation of the three. Hope you are doing well. Have a